Oh yeah. Hey.
Here I go. Yeah!
Mario Kart Wii. Woohoo!
Yep, that's right, you heard the man. Today we will be looking at Mario Kart Wii. Released in 2008 for the... do I really have to say it? I have fond memories of this game, playing it when I was in elementary and middle school. It was a lot of fun back when I played it, but we are here to see if the game actually holds up today. I know a lot of people nowadays play the game through CTGP, which is the fan-made mod that revitalized the online scene for the game and more. I love CTGP, and I even played a lot of online Mario Kart Wii during COVID. But we are here to look at the base game, the version that was released in 2008. Booting up the game, we are greeted with a fun little intro, but we already got to see that. But holy shit, the music is already banging and we haven't even set up our account. The menu music is already awesome, and right off the bat, I just love the whole aesthetic of the menus, visually and musically. It gives off this very futuristic 2000s feel that all GameCube games had, like Melee and Kirby Air Ride. For the main menu, two of these sub-menus don't function anymore, and one of them boldly assumes I have friends. So on to what we will be looking at today, single player. First up, we have Grand Prix mode, which is the main game mode for single player. For Grand Prix, you pick one of the cups and race through all 4 tracks in the cup. And there are a total of 8 cups in the game, resulting in 32 courses. My first complaint with the game is that why is 50cc karts only and why is 100cc bikes only? It is a weird decision to make, limiting the player when they pick either 50 or 100cc. I mean, sure, it is a unique decision, but this decision subtracts an option from the player, which this issue will also come up in battle mode later on. I am a veteran to Mario Kart Wii, so I decided to play on 150cc, and for this video, I challenged myself to pick a variety of vehicles for the video. If you don't know, let me give you a rundown on the vehicle types. There are inside drift bikes, which are really broken. They allow you to take turns really tight, which other vehicles can't, and they can also wheelie for more speed on straightaways. Outside drift bikes can still wheelie, but they can't take as tight of turns, which makes them worse on very sharp turns. Karts can get an orange mini turbo when drifting, which gives them a bigger boost, but on straightaways, they are destroyed by bikes as they can't wheelie. Karts can try to snake or drift on straightaways, but most of the time, it is hard to do that. Now with that out of the way, for the first 3 Grand Prix, I chose the best 3 vehicles in the game. For the next 3, I chose vehicles that are alright. For the last 2 Grand Prix, I chose the worst vehicles I had at the time, as I didn't have everything unlocked. I will be going through every Grand Prix and discussing every course, with a few pit stops in between. Here we are with the Mushroom Cup. Luigi's Circuit is just as average as you can get. It is the opening course, but holy crap, it is pretty boring. Not much to add besides there is one ramp to trick off of. I say that because one of the main selling points of the game was the ramps you could trick off of. I like the statue of Luigi, I guess. On the other hand, Moo Moo Meadows is amazing. The landscape is amazing, and I also love the cows that change position throughout the laps. This course has 2 ramps this time as well, and it provides a few obstacles too. This course, in my opinion, is what Luigi's Circuit should have been, simple yet fun. Mushroom Gorge is great as well, and it's definitely more challenging than the other 2 courses before. The scenery is nice and the cave section is amazing as well. I can see a little chaos with the mushrooms giving weird bounce angles, but it is still a fun time. Overall, a great experience, except that my D-pad gets hammered in every time I played the course. More on that later after we talk about Toad's Factory. Holy shit, this is where the game really starts to show its true side. Shit that can crush you, janky crate hitboxes that can end a good race. I love it for that. A bunch of speed boost panels as well. This track is amazing in my eyes, but I will say the ending section can fuck you a bit if you don't line up with the boost panels, but still a fun idea. And also the music is just jamming the whole time as well. But I was talking about the D-pad earlier, and the reason is, for controller players, you use the D-pad to trick. What? I mean, it isn't bad, but if I fling myself towards the abyss, my thumb is stuck on the D-pad rather than using the joystick to control myself. The wheelie button is also up on the D-pad, so you will be mashing the fuck out of that button as well, as wheeling is super important for bikes. Everything else makes sense on the controller. I mean, I can try to play with a Wii remote, but I didn't consult my doctor before using it. Next up is the Shell Cup, which is the first retro cup. Beach Beach. Now say that 10 times fast. Nothing to add besides the course looks pretty nice. I mean, the cataquacks are harsh in this course. If one of them has you on a hit list, you better start flying to the moon. But again, not much to add besides it is just a pretty tame course. Next up is Yoshi Falls, and I actually quite like this course. Even if it is glorified Luigi circuit, I still like it. Simple, but it still has ramps to trick off of and even cool waterfall shortcuts. I also love the comically large Yoshi egg in the middle. Now, time for Ghost Valley 3. I mean, literally one of the shortcuts you can do without a mushroom. There's also one boost panel at the end and also the little jump bar thingy as well. Awesome. See, even the CPUs don't want to do this course. Last up on the list is Mario Raceway. You can take huge shortcuts if you got a golden mushroom or a star. That's about the extent of the fun on this course, but I mean it isn't bad by any means. Just a simple racetrack with a few turns here and there, which I get. It's only the Shell Cup, so I get the difficulty being easy. And when I play with friends, we still sometimes pick this course for the huge shortcuts. Nothing visually appealing, however, but at least we have signs telling me to make some joke about murder. Next up, we have the Flower Cup, and this is where it starts to get really fun. Mario's circuit is great, and the big castle with all the little houses is neat. The trees and the massive chain chomp all add to the course too. I also like how the... Okay, I'm sorry. Why won't Luigi shut the fuck up? He says... I get a boost of speed, he says. My card gets declined at Starbucks, and he says. But now we get to talk about Coconut Mall. An amazing course with a huge variety of obstacles. The stairs, the cars, the shop shortcuts. It also doesn't overstay its welcome, as the course usually ends by the 2-minute 45-second mark. The mall also looks awesome as well, and it's the perfect balance between being Mario-fied and looking like an actual mall. The attention to detail is insane. They even predicted the future with the bare-looking parking lots in the course. My only complaint is that some of the water fountain ramps, when tricking off of them, launch you way too high sometimes, but that's just something minor. The next course is tied for my favorite track in the entire game, DK Summit. I usually don't like courses that immediately launch you into cannons, but it makes sense for this course as you are quote-unquote skiing down a massive slope. Plenty of different obstacles and fun stuff to trick off of as well. The background even has a functioning ski lift with Shy Guys riding on them.
Hello, Mario.
The ending portion is awesome as well, with the half-pipe portion and all. They even clap for you when you go up the special blue trick ramps. The music is also jamming as well. Just an amazing course overall. Now we get to Wario's Gold Mine. I like this course a bunch as well. However, as I talked about earlier, it is hard to trick and control yourself at the same time, and it really shows how that can be an issue in this course. It didn't affect me at all, but that huge ramp in the cave section can be an issue. This is also one of the first tracks to not hold your hand as much, as there are barely any guardrails on the turns and such. The whole aesthetic of this course is also cool, and I like how the music gets all echoey and soft when you enter the cave as well. The minecarts add a lot as well to the course. Overall a good course, and I think it is a great follow-up to DK Summit. We have done the 3 easy vehicles, so it is now time to move on to the average vehicles. The Banana Cup is the first cup I actually struggled on, as the off-road on the Wild Wing sucks on Sherbert Land. Sherbert Land just looks like you use the pen tool over and over in Photoshop. There's also just a massive penguin in the middle of the map. The cave section is fine, but the course textures look pretty bad. If you change the stage to red, you end up with a hellish landscape that'll turn the game from E to M. Not really my cup of tea, especially with the cart I chose. Shy Guy Beach is cool. I like the little boat filled with the Shy Guys shooting the cannonballs. Not much to this course, but that is fine. The water counts as off-road, which is interesting to do massive shortcuts. I hate this course with the Wild Wing though. The water section with the little patches of land sucks, as you have to keep jumping over the water in order to maintain speed. The whole design of the course is cool, and as a kid I thought this map gave off a Paper Mario vibe with all the 2D models and scenery. Not bad for a GBA retro. Delfino Square has got to be my favorite retro in the entire game. The peaceful, jolly music just about sums it up perfectly. The opening area looks very cool and neat, along with the little markets along the shore near the drawbridge. It gives off this chill, summertime vibe. The shortcut near the market is fun, but sometimes it can get really tight when trying to execute it. It is a pretty simple course, however, but the details for the track make up for the lack of obstacles in the course. Waluigi Stadium is up next, and this course is great. I like how they added a bunch of trick spots to make it feel like a dirt bike course. They even have PNGs cheering us on. The big Jumbotron is cool as well. Not much to add, but that's okay. This course didn't do any harm, but it is still pretty fun to play. Next up on the list is the Star Cup. For this, we will be using an outside drifting bike, as I originally hadn't had one on the list of vehicles to use. Don't worry, you'll see me regret this decision later on. Daisy Circuit is the other course that is tied for my favorite course in the entire game. The music, the lighting, the track itself, the vibes are just amplified to the max. Everything I love about Delfino Square carries over to this course, and somehow Daisy Circuit elevates it even more. The whole stage having this orange tint really helps, with the sunset over the water making the stage really gorgeous. The little town area looks great for a Wii game. The tunnel area is awesome, and having Daisy's ship in the background just adds a little touch to the course as a whole. The course is quite simple, and even though it is one of my favorite courses, I still have to knock it down for that. The layout is still fun, however, and the stairway shortcut is really cool. Again, it is one of my personal favorites in the entire game, but that doesn't mean you will like it. For the adrenaline junkies and chaos seekers, this one is a bit boring, but the visuals and music do it justice. For Koopa Cape, it is a great follow-up to Daisy's Circuit. It is more exciting than Daisy's Circuit as well, and the visuals are just as great too. The water sections are fun as well, and the course is quite challenging as well, but it isn't overbearing. A little more to do for more experienced players with all the water pathways and electric rod timings. Maple Tree Way is another great follow-up to a follow-up. The music is great and the visuals are just amazing with this course. I will say, however, that some of the sharp turns are quite hard to do with vehicles with bad drifting or handling. Koopa Cape had more challenging obstacles, but anyone experienced with the game can deal with them. With Maple Tree Way, it feels like the course is very vehicle dependent. Even still, the map is awesome and it has one of the coolest shortcuts in the game. Overall, a good experience with the visuals and music like the past two courses. Just a bit harder for certain vehicles. Last on the list is Grumble Volcano, and holy fuck, what a way to end the cup. This track gives you a taste for what is about to come in the special cup, with all the fireballs, winding paths, and pitfalls. It looks as good as the other courses in the cup, but with a different aesthetic. A quite challenging track for some, but it's still a lot of fun. Lots of moments during the course that made me do that thing where you move your controller in the direction you are moving. Overall, I think this is the best cup in the entire game. 4 legendary tracks that future Mario Kart games would add to their retro roster. Now you probably noticed the clip of me getting hit by a blue shell in 7th place. I'm not just gonna gloss over that. As you can probably infer, the item balance in this game blows. The animations for getting hit in this game take forever, with the red and green shells giving you so much hit stun. You're also back to 0 speed as well when hit by the shells. Triple bananas are good for a different reason, as they are amazing to get if you are in first place. They can protect you from red shells and even green shells 3 different times. If you're on first, the only thing you have to worry about are red and green shells, which the triple banana eliminates. However, another item that you have to worry about in first is the blue shell. It will kill whatever momentum you have and will most likely result in you dropping at least 1 place. The animation takes forever as you have to fly up into the air, back down, do a little stun animation, and then you can start to finally speed up. But you are probably wondering, if the balance sucks, doesn't that mean there are really bad items? Yes, absolutely. The power block is just a worse thunderbolt, the blooper is an ink blot test, and the fake item box is just used for item snipes. Nothing much to add here besides that these items are just not very good. The worst item has got to be the thundercloud. Even the game knows you are fucked when you get this item, as it makes a sound effect that says, "You're fucked." It gives you a massive speed boost up until you are shocked. And the whole point of the item is to pass it on once you're about to get shocked by it, but people are never close enough to pass it on. You are able to get this item from 3rd to 7th place, which sucks as the middle of the pack items are already bare bones. The other items are fine enough. The Mega Mushroom I enjoy a lot, and the Bob-omb is fun to try and snipe people with. The classic term getting Mario Karted applies heavily in this game. To wrap up the item section faster, let me just show you what I mean by Mario Karted. Yeah. After the pain I went through using this standard bike, I gave myself a break and used the Quacker, which I unlocked from the last cup, an inside drift bike with pretty mediocre stats. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. We have the Leaf Cup next up. Desert Hills is fine enough, just a typical desert stage with some massive shortcuts, I might add. The sand for some reason looks really saturated, making it look like someone really had to take a leak. Not much variety either with this course. If you get hit by these fireballs on this stage, you deserve a special award from the game. Honestly, I didn't really enjoy this stage too much, just felt like filler. Maybe just a bit too simple, especially for a late game stage. Bowser Castle 2 is another pretty meh stage. Just thwomps and a bunch of ramps you can trick off of. Just felt like they slapped on a bunch of trick ramps and called it a day on this course. Also, the random Bowser nuclear plants in the back get pretty repetitive as well. Another pretty forgettable stage all in all. DK's Jungle Parkway is again, just alright. Simple, but with pretty neat visuals. The style it is going for is pretty cool, and the course is not half bad. However, the turn after the ramp cannon is brutal if you don't have good handling or drift. Again, pretty bland, but I will say it is better than the other 2 courses before it. Mario Circuit. No, not that one. It's pretty good when compared to the other 3 courses. I love me some Double Dash music, and this no doubt fills that need. There are at least obstacles on this stage, like the piranha plants and the chain chomp. The visuals are very Double Dash with the very vibrant clay-like colors. I also love me some Double Dash graphics, and this course also fills that need very well. Pretty weird how this is the last course in the cup, as it is just a basic Mario track, but I mean it is a step up from the rest of the cup. Finally, we have the last original Mario Kart Wii Cup, the Special Cup. First up is Dry Drive Ruins. The course itself is cool, but the track gives a massive middle finger to certain vehicles. The Flame Flyer, the vehicle I chose, is absolutely terrible on this stage. Maybe it's just the kart itself, but my god is this stage hard. Me personally, I think it is a kart thing, which will be talked about later, but the stage does not help at all. The pyramid section is really cool, piling on sand in the pyramid as you go through each lap. The shortcuts are insane on this map, and overall, the design and aesthetic of the course are great as well. A great course overall, just challenging for the wrong reasons. Moonview Highway looks really cool with the full moon and the bright lights from the city buildings. It really does look beautiful with all the lights and scenery, especially with... This course has Toad's Turnpike-itis, in that the cars add nothing but pain and suffering to the experience. Blind corners and tight turns cause the cars to be more of an issue than they already are. Don't worry, the course makes up for the cars in the form of a fuck ton of boost panels that make you lose control. The course is great if you put a black bar over 50% of the screen. Bowser's Castle. Now this is where it gets good. The opening entrance into the castle with the massive ramp is already cool enough. The massive Bowser statue shooting fireballs is cool as well, and the method to avoid them is also really cool. The stage looks badass too, but I mean honestly, what Bowser course doesn't look cool? Okay, well, this time around, Bowser's Castle isn't as hard as other iterations, but that's okay. I think it is hard enough for experienced players, but easy enough for you Wii Remote players. Now for the grand finale, Rainbow Road. Now this is what I was saving up for. This is actually my favorite course of any Mario Kart game. Sorry Wii Remote users, fuck you. This track shows who is king when it comes to this game. The insane tricks, crazy turns, and boost panels. They even have winding paths and also... You know what? On second thought, I hate this course. Going back to the topic of vehicles, just like the items, the bounce sucks. As mentioned before, the inside drifting vehicles are really good and anything else is pretty bad. I know some of the inside drifting vehicles are not the meta, but from a casual perspective, they are way better than the other vehicles. It took me 5 tries to even get to Moonview Highway. The standard bike also sucks too, but there are some karts and bikes that are even worse. The Sprinter and the Phantom are considered the worst in the game to many. Even though I didn't unlock them in this playthrough, I have used them before, and holy hell are they bad. My personal favorite vehicle is the Dolphin Dasher, as it's an all-around good bike and the reference is really cool. Last but maybe least, the Lightning Cup. Mario Circuit 3 is what you expect from a Mario Circuit course, but I kinda like the layout of the course. Maybe throw it in with some of the earlier cups and I would've loved this track, but it just kinda feels bland. It also looks pretty basic as well. The track also took inspiration from Ghost Valley 3 by adding this boost panel at the end. Not much to add besides a pretty basic track. Peach Gardens is fun, however a bit repetitive, just a bunch of hedges and grass patches. This course is the absolute noob killer, as if you don't know the correct path, you lose a lot of time. It looks pretty nice though. I think all of the DS tracks in this game look great, but I don't know why only the DS courses have this polish to them. Again, a pretty simple course for such a late game cup, however. DK Mountain picks up the pace a bit and fills that double dash need I talked about earlier. It is a lot of fun and it provides a nice challenge for the player, but the layout is quite similar to DK Summit. The cannon, the turns near the end of the course, and the ramps near the top of the course. Still a fun track, as all the double dash retros are pretty fun. I think the course fits well in this cup, as it is quite challenging to those inexperienced with the game. The last course is Bowser's... Yeah, I'm sorry, this course is not very fun. It just feels so anticlimactic, especially for a Bowser course. I like the Bowser PNGs on the wall. The moving thwomps are barely any issue, and the ending section is the most exciting portion of the entire course, only because of the lava pillars. You have to be blindfolded if you get hit by these lava. You know what? On second thought, I hate this course. To wrap up the Grand Prix, I think the original tracks are amazing. You have some of the most iconic tracks in all of Mario Kart, like Coconut Mall and Grumble Volcano. You also have some niche picks like Daisy Circuit or Toad's Factory as well. I think they are also paced out beautifully as well, saving some of the harder courses for later. The Mario Kart Wii tracks all look pretty good too, but we will get to the graphics in a bit. For the retros, I really can't justify playing some of these. There are 3 different Mario courses in the retro cups, and only one of them is kinda fun. The JVA tracks just don't do it for me either, as well as some of the N64 tracks as well, which I was surprised by. The DS and GameCube tracks are amazing, however, maybe because the tracks they picked were really good. Some of the GBA and SNES courses were very forgettable, and did you notice how I changed the number on Ghost Valley and Bowser Castle? Yeah, it's actually supposed to be Ghost Valley 2 and Bowser Castle 3. I think the retros were spread all over the place when compared to the Mario Kart Wii original courses. It felt like there was a build-up to the Mario Kart Wii cups, but the retro cups feel like they just put them randomly together. Overall, I had a good time with the tracks themselves. Maybe the Mario Kart Wii tracks a bit more than the retros. After finally wrapping up the Grand Prix mode, we have time trials. I only played 3 courses I liked, and also SNES Mario Circuit 3 for some reason. It is fun to just grind these out and try to beat the staff ghosts. If you use an inside drifting bike, you are guaranteed to beat the easy staff ghosts, and even some of the hard staff ghosts. Some of the courses I didn't even use my mushrooms and I still beat the ghosts. That just about sums up the time trials mode. It just feels like a side mode, but every Mario Kart game with time trials feels that way. It is still a fun optional mode. Talking about what I mentioned earlier, the graphics somehow feel like a downgrade from Double Dash, even with the upgrade in hardware. The models look a little too sharp, and for some reason some of the colors looked washed out. DK looks like he could cut diamonds with his elbows. Some of the game looks fine, like the tracks I mentioned that had really pretty scenery, but still, you can tell that the game looks like a downgrade when compared to Double Dash. Double Dash has this polish that Mario Kart Wii doesn't have. Doesn't look bad by any means, but the models and colors just look a bit outdated. It just looks too jagged for a Wii game. It still looks fine enough, but it definitely does not look like an upgrade from previous Mario Kart games. Versus mode is just the Grand Prix mode, but it puts the options in the player's hand, as you can pick what courses you want to play and also the CPU level, CC, and more. Not much to add here. I didn't even play this mode, as it was basically just a sandbox version of the Grand Prix mode. Now time for the game mode that actually surprised me the most, especially with the music, battle mode. First off, I want to state the thing I hate most about battle mode. It is only in teams. What? As I stated near the beginning of the video, I said that locking 50 and 100cc to carts and bikes respectively strips the player of certain choices. This is the same for battle mode. It is a cool concept, but why not have the option for either teams or free-for-alls? You also only either pick the standard bike or standard cart, which is another design choice that strips the player of choosing which vehicle they want to play with. Besides that, I think the battle mode is actually really fun. The new courses are extremely fun and interesting, and they all have some unique mechanic. The music selection here is also amazing. Funky Stadium is obviously a fan favorite with all the ramps and tricks. Feels like a massive battle arena, and it is really awesome. The music is banging as well. Take a listen. Chain Chomp Wheel is another battle stage that was extremely fun as well, with the massive Chain Chomp rolling around, and the music is also great as well. I thought Thwomp Desert was going to be lame, but even that stage was fun as well, with the Thwomp changing up the stage every so often. That is also the mechanic of all of these Mario Kart Wii battle stages. They all change after a certain period of time in some way. They lose parts of the stage, they switch directions. It is always something. For the retros, all of them are just basic shapes with a few obstacles thrown in there. They're as basic as you can get, which I guess is a nice change of pace from the more chaotic stages that the Wii brought. Still, they were fun, but not as fun as the Wii ones. There are also only 2 game modes this time, Coin Battle and Balloon Battle. Well, that just about wraps up Mario Kart Wii. I had a pretty fun time with the game, all things considered. Would I revisit the game? Yeah, I would. The original Mario Kart Wii tracks are worth it alone, even if the retros are a bit stale. Some of the retros were fun, like Delfino Square. I would even revisit the battle mode with some friends, as I actually did enjoy the Mario Kart Wii battle stages a lot. I feel like there's always something for someone in this game. Grand Prix are for everyone, time trials for the hardcore players, versus mode to customize the game, and battle mode to dick around and have some fun. With that all said, I give Mario Kart Wii a B+. Hey everyone, just wanted to say thank you for the support on the last video. I know some exporting errors happened, but I figured it out. Hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to like and comment, and also subscribe if you like the content. Thanks everyone.